Our next guest wants to help you transform your imposters into a superpower. Her new book breaks down the steps to do it, and we welcome the author of Soulblazing. Lisa Haisha is with us today. Lisa, thanks for joining us.
Hi, it's so good to be here.
Soulblazing, such like a strong word. I've actually never heard it before, but share with people what soulblazing is.
Soulblazing is really helping people get back in touch with their souls. I think we all have lost something, especially over the past few years with all the chaos going on. So it's about really getting grounded again. I spent so much time traveling all over the world to over 60 countries and really spent time with indigenous tribes like the Maasai tribe. I stayed with the Bedouins in the mountains of Petra. The Maasai tribe was in Tanzania. I stayed with Sufis in Cappadocia and shamans in Peru and did plant medicine. And many more than that too. And over the past 2 decades of spending so much time with nature and earth and getting back to being grounded, especially living in Los Angeles, I had to leave here every like 3 or 4 months for a month to get cleansed again, to really not lose myself like a lot of people do. So it's really getting it back in touch with who you are.
That's incredible. I mean, that sounds like quite the adventure that I wouldn't even know where to begin to do it. But what made you want to go out into these tribes, into these areas, and what did you come back learning?
Well, what do you think? Wounds, our childhood wounds, right? All of us have them. And I was thinking, I kept going to therapists and this and that. Not that I had a really great childhood overall, but when you find blocks that you're just going, God, I know what to do. I've read books, I've gone to seminars. Why can't I get the discipline to do what I need to do up and show up for myself? And it really is the knowledge action gap step, that people need to take. We need a motive. What motivates us? So I go, how do we get in touch with that? And I started working with all these clients after all these travels and got a master's in psychology. And I realized, just like schizophrenia, we all wear different masks from whatever wounds we had. It's like a little scar. So someone who is dysfunctional gave it to you. Someone said, you're not good enough, or you're not smart, or you'll never make it, or you're fat, or you're ugly, whatever it is, and that sticks with us. So maybe 1 minute of your life at a certain age is affecting you in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond, unless you figure out what it is. And our imposters, I found out by working with people, this person does life through their seductor imposter. They're always flirting to get what they want, but then they have shame if they do something that they go, I really kind of did something that I don't respect myself, because your authentic soul always knows. Or the joker, throwing someone under the bus to get what you want and being manipulative and a little conniving, even though you're super creative and everything and you can do it on your own. So it's just the discovery process.
So that's what happens in this book. You take these imposters. How many are there in the book of the imposters?
7.
7. Okay, that's what I thought. And they're all really neat as you describe them through, and you can kind of point out, oh, yes, I am like this. Oh, yes, I have done this. But share, what is that? I know I saw like the victim, the egotist. They're words that you're like, I am not that. But as you describe them and name circumstances of things that you might be doing to kind of hold yourself back because you are playing that card, it's really interesting. Which one do you find most people find the most out of?
Well, I think a lot of us are many of them at once, and I think the most interesting people are, and that's what makes you so wonderful. You're like an onion with all these layers of your life experiences. So there's nothing to be ashamed of. It's like, wow, I'm the victim, I'm the seductor, I'm the overthinker. I think we all have them, but it's about taming them. I equate it to a pit bull. If they're trained, they're the best animals in the world and will protect you. But if they're not, they're dangerous. They could bite you or someone else. So that's your imposters. You could either allow them to be your saboteurs or your superpowers. Like when I was going to an audition once, I went there, one of my first auditions, and I was so nervous. I hope they like me. And I went and did the audition, like, please like me written on my forehead. And then I went home and going, I sucked. I was terrible. So I went back later in the day around 5 and was one of the last people. Then they looked at my headshot going, weren't you in here? I'm like, no. They said, okay, you look familiar, of course, because I'm, doing commercials all the time. And I was so confident, and I did the same thing. And they said, wow, you were really good. And I said, oh, thank you. And I looked through the headshots and said, wait, isn't this you? I'm like, no, that's not me. That must be my twin sister, who's not an actress. But I said, she's not good, and she's this and that. And they go, oh my God, she was terrible. You're great. And I got the job. And that was like a $25,000 job. And that's by honoring who you are and really getting in touch when your personality is in alignment with your authentic soul. That's when miracles happen, because that's when you're aligned. You can really stand in your power. But it takes work. You have to take the imposter quiz that's on the website. And once you find out who your dominant one is, you start to go, you have these aha moments of, oh, this is what I see myself doing. Who gave it to you? Because once you see it, you could name it and claim it, then you could start dissolving it, not get rid of it, because think of it as your wounded inner child, and you want to coddle it and go, it's okay, I'm here. So it needs love. And once it's loved, it'll become your superpower.
So you have to love your imposter first. And you should take the quiz to find out which imposter you are, but then you love that, and that's how you train it. I love it.
Yes, it might be several of them, but one's dominant, and just work with them and go, oh, okay, all these are my superpowers if I train them and if I get familiar with them. Because the most important relationship you could have is being intimate with yourself and being balanced, mind, body, heart, soul. That's why it's so important.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We'll have more information about it on our website at katu.com.